Hello and welcome to Pandering Hour. I am your host Anthony Martin, and today on Pandering Hour we are going to be discussing the country of Nigeria. Is discussing the right word? I'm all alone. I'm going to be telling you about Nigeria. We're going to learn about it together. So, Nigeria, an African country off the Gulf of Guinea. There's some interesting questions going on over here before I jump into the map. Which city in Texas has the most Nigerians? Houston. I have met a couple of Nigerians. There is like some African stuff here in Texas. Is Nigerian a race or ethnicity? It's various ethnic groups. Oh, it's like Crow. I have a friend who's half Native American. Half. His mom is full. But he's from Alaska. And basically, what he explained is that Crow, which I assume is similar for Nigerians, because so many different tribes of Native Americans were eradicated or persecuted, and only a couple of them are left. They just sort of got adopted into the big umbrella that is the Crow tribe. So something similar must be going on with Nigerians, because I know stuff like that happened. Which part of the U.S. has the most Nigerians? Texas. Texas, man. Okay. Oh, that's what I'm waiting. That's fun facts. Let's not do fun. Let's do interesting facts about Nigeria. Let's see. Only 7. These better be banger facts. If you're planning a trip to Nigeria or simply intrigued about the country, here are 7 interesting facts. It's the most populous country in Africa. There's a twins capital of the world. That's not that interesting. It's multilingual. So is this country, man. Just walk around for a little bit. You're going to meet someone who doesn't speak English, and you're like, how are you here? Nigeria is one of the largest film producers in the world, known as Nollywood. Nigeria boasts the second largest movie producer. It produces around 50 movies per week, which is more than Hollywood and only second only to Bollywood. While its revenue might not be able to compete with the likes of Bollywood and Hollywood, it still generates an impressive 590 million every year. What? Nollywood movies have a huge following in Africa and with Africans around the world. Wait a second. How have I not heard of this? Nigerian movies. Come on. I want to see a video. I want to see, like, latest Nigerian Nollywood movies.
The fact that you're a living monster.
It's in English. Why is it in English? I would have expected it to be like, whoa, hold on. Less than 5 minutes in, and I'm learning about Nollywood? What?
So you had the mind to lay your hands on her.
It's not as you think. I did not beat her.
Come on, lies! Lies!
So over the top. Lies! How could you do this?
This guy, you can lie!
Okay, it's a little... Listen. The money's not there yet. The acting's not there yet. I mean, what... Is the acting in 12 Angry Men good? Yes. They're developing the culture. They're developing. Come on. This is a third-rate industry, literally.
You are a big liar! I saw it! I saw everything! What is wrong with you? Hold on. Hold on. Because this is getting too much. What do you take me for?
It's just weird. It's so much.
No. I need to understand why you keep telling me these lies all the time. Like,
This is a big monologue. She's still talking. And this guy's so African. This guy Yeah, I mean he's Nigerian, but like this is the most African face. Like that, if you have African friends, so in LA there's a good amount of African comics, and they hit you with the eyebrow. When they hit you with the eyebrow, it's crazy, man.
Biggest fool ever. To think you can do whatever you like and get away with it.
Man. Oh, he hit her with the finger. He hit her with the finger.
Fool.
That's enough. Please, 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 please.
The finger. The Nigerian finger. Hold on. There's got to be like terms for Nigerian gesticulating. I definitely misspelled that. Because Nigeria is a multicultural nation, gestures differ from one ethnic group to another. Most people point with the index finger. What? What did I just say? Most people point with the index finger. People beckon by waving all fingers together with a palm facing down. They beckon like this? Pushing the palm of the hand forward with the fingers spread is vulgar. So this is vulgar. I don't think no one's gonna be able to. I need like a Nigerian person. I can't wait until this podcast gets. I want to do a lap. Once this podcast gets to the point where I've done all the countries and hopefully we have a good amount of listeners and I can get guests on and I can have people submit things to me. I would like to have Nigerians reach out. Like if I could get like a Nigerian actor or like have a producer who does stuff like this, that'd be awesome. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. Let's find a different one. Maybe that one's not the best one. How about Pretty Evil? It's the whole movie. It's the whole movie. Okay, this kind of looks like it was shot on an iPhone. It's like a student film. It's shaky. Like you can tell it was just like a guy. Why is there such a long shot of this guy running?
Hamatan.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Olivia, what are you still doing in that nun?
They're speaking English again. Isn't that's weird? Why are they speaking English? That's a little confusing to me. Like why would they have a whole industry around right? Like to make a like are Bollywood movies in English? I mean, this one's on Netflix. For Triple R. Beautiful cinematography and okay, hold on. Let's watch the trailer. So what's all this about? Where play the trailer, damn it. Where is the trailer? Nacho Nacho?
Do you know Desi Nach?
What's Desi Nach?
Oh, this was that I saw this. There was a whole thing about this dance break. So it's a musical. Okay, so they're not speaking English. That's the whole point.
Do you know Desi Nach?
What's Desi Nach?
I don't think that's it. I don't think this is in English. So why are Bollywood movies not in English, but Nigerian movies are? That's weird. Like, to make that many movies every year? Every week? How many movies? 50 movies a week. 50 movies a week. Obviously, they're not trying too hard, but they're dedicated. They're like, I'm gonna outgrind you. They're making them on an iPhone. They're not editing it. They're just like, the shot's good. Run it. But still. Okay. It boasts the largest economy in Africa. I mean, yeah, people have the time and money to make 50 movies a week. You gotta have some money. It gained independence in the 1960s, but it's still a part of a commonwealth. For much of the, well, that's not good. For much of the 20th and 21st century, intermittent colonial and militant rule dominated by Nigeria's history. British forces occupied Lagos, Nigeria's capital, from 1851. The British formally annexed it in 1865, and the whole of Nigeria became a British protectorate in 1901. British rule has lasted till 1960. The country became a republic in 1963, but remained a part of the British Commonwealth, along with 52 other sovereign states. So, is Puerto Rico a commonwealth? Okay, so it's just like Puerto Rico. Nigeria is the UK's Puerto Rico, and that's why there are so many Nigerians in the UK. The number of people stated Nigerian as their country of birth in the 2021 census was 5%, 0.5% of the population of England and Wales. That's not a lot. Huh. Let me see. Hold on. Is KSI Nigerian? Yeah, KSI was born in Nigeria. KSI. And he's not even... He's got a Nigerian father and a British mother. But they're both black. I don't know what I mean by that. Like, to say that when you say that the mother is British, I'm picturing like Mary Poppins, and I've seen his mom. She seems Nigerian. I don't know what I'm saying here. Let's move on. I feel like I dug myself into a small hole, and I'm bailing from it. Nearly 95% of Nigeria's rainforest has been destroyed. Well, that's interesting. Well, when you're the most populated country, you need trees. You need space. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to back up just for a second. What are some things that you need to know about Nigeria?
We are a...
No. Swedish nomad? What do the whites think about Nigeria? Most populated country, 500 languages spoken. Social media is very popular. As one of the most industrialized African countries, perhaps this is one of the... Oh, shit! Hold on. That means I can find stuff. Nigerian... social media... What about Nigerian memes? If social media is huge, what about the memes? African parents thins how African mothers look when they can't find a contact in their phone. This is it. When mom borrows money from you and it's time to pay back, and she starts explaining how she carried you for 9 months. Oh yeah, where are all these from? Wait, why are you running?
Why are you running?
Is that from a Nigerian movie? Hold on, where is this from? Okay. If that is from Pretty Liars 1, no way. Hold on. Nollywood pretty liars. No way. 2014? Is that how old this was? Yeah, this is from 2016. Why are you running? That's awesome. So that's why there are so many of these memes. Wait, hold on. Is the little boy meme? Like, you know, the little boy with like the sword and he's like, I can't do these Nigerian auditions. No way. No way.
Hello and welcome to Scene 1 TV. 2019 started off on a great foot as
wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold watch.
Okay, this is I forgot that this is painful to do. I forgot. This is just like this is actors open mics. That's what an audition is. That's what an open mic is. They're basically running stuff by, and sometimes it's great. It's just like auditions. Like, wow, that guy's a great actor. He's not right for this role, but he's a great actor.
Well done. Alright, just that. I'm working here. Yeah.
Toby, will you keep quiet and let me speak?
Don't you touch me! Don't you dare touch me!
I mean, I believe it. Look at her eye. Yeah, she's good. I like her. Number 7. Number 7 is great.
Desmond, how could you? How could you?
I kind of believe it.
Wale.
This guy.
Wale. Wait. You have an exam tomorrow, I'll be next tomorrow, and the best thing you could think of right.
The dude on this guy, he is channeling his father. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get away from Nollywood for a second. Let's see. Home to the richest man in Africa? Really? I gotta see this. I gotta see the richest man in Africa. Why is he sweating his Twitter picture? Aliko Dangote G-Con is Nigerian businessman and industrialist. He is best known as the founder, chairman, and CEO of the Dangote Group, the largest industrial conglomerate in West Africa. Is he a trillionaire? 13.6 billion US dollars. Wow. Is he richer than Ronaldo, though? Is he richer than Ronaldo? Okay. So Nigeria is not... This is pretty good. Considering where we are in the... we might be out of the depressing countries. I think we're at the point in this journey where we're going through each country where we're finally out of the depressing countries. But depressing facts about Nigeria. 10 unbelievable things about Nigeria. Getting a certificate of occupancy is hell. In a country with 20 million people with an unemployment rate of over 30%, 30% unemployment, that's pretty bad. Yeah, but they're in Africa. Like, can't you just can't this is gonna sound ignorant, but can't you just go back to farming? Like, aren't you in a position where you could just 30% unemployment in the cities? At least the least commonsensical thing you can expect of government is to make life as simple as possible for private businesses so that they can create jobs, add value, and accelerate economic growth. Not in my Nigeria. A simple C of O, certificate of occupancy, that can enable entrepreneurs use landed property as collateral for loans is the most difficult document to get in many states. This locks down billions of dollars in the real estate, with the multiplier effects hurting several other sectors of the economy. This is to say nothing about the planning permits and ridiculous building charges that make life even harder for the entrepreneur. Dissonant. Dissonant. 2. We want to create jobs but kill small businesses. 3. We can neither import nor export without tears. This is... What is this? What is this? What is this? This website is odd. It feels... it ends shallow, mindless, shameful, fraudulent. What a weird... What is this? This is a Nigerian website. That's... Go look at The Cable. Thecable.ng. 10 unbelievable things about Nigeria. Huh. Does it say who wrote this? By Simon Kolowole. Dissonant. Counterproductive. Absurd. Wicked. Baffling. This is awesome. I like the way this guy writes. Depression, 5 facts Nigerians should know. Okay. Okay. From happiest to angriest people on earth. Over the years, Nigerians have been known as some of the happiest people in the world. Some years ago, the World Happiness Report, which ranks 155 countries by their happiness, ranked Nigerians as the 6th happiest people in Africa and 95th happiest in the world. Out of 155, they're the 95th happiest? That's not good. What happened? They obviously had problems. In 2003, the World Values Survey also reported that the world's happiest people lived in Nigeria. The study, which was carried out over a period of 3 years, reported that Nigeria beat more than 65 countries to claim the top spot. In 2012, a Gallup poll revealed that Africans were the world's most optimistic people. In Nigeria specifically, 88% of the people were optimistic about their future. Today, the story has changed. Nigerians are no longer smiling. Signs of stress and prolonged suffering are daily on the faces of many Nigerians. The nation's long history about being happy has faded with increasing poverty in the land and resulting increasing wave of insecurity. I mean, I believe it. It's not just Nigeria, it's the world. Like, the world is scared right now. If you look at what's going on in the world, that's such a silly sentence to say. Because a lot of people say it. Like, if you go on CNN and Fox News, if you look at what's going on in the world today. But what I'm trying to get across is that Africa is not in a good position. They are still a commonwealth, and while that has its benefits, ultimately, like, France gets billions of dollars from their commonwealths in Africa. And that's billions of dollars that aren't staying in that country. And because it's not staying in the country, they, it's like France is helping them generate this revenue. But it's not, the revenue doesn't stay in Africa. All the wealth is being siphoned from it. So Africa's kind of fucked. And then, I mean, think about, it's the same thing in the U.S. Like, the money is siphoned from the lower classes. Anything that's not the 1%, all the money is just continuously being moved from the 99% to the 1%. And we're still living a fantastic life as the 99%. Like, I'm living like a king. I can have fresh roasted coffee every morning. I'm operating a computer worth a couple $1,000s with 2 screens, communicating to people on the internet. I am living a great life. But that doesn't mean that my labor is definitely worth more than what I'm being paid. And that's across the board in this country. And it's not like, ideally what the rich would have us do is live in another country and then come over and work nonstop and then fly and go back to our country. But this is our country. This is our land. Like that, we truly do have kings again, but they're just so much richer and they have access to so much more that we're just so fucked. And I think Nigeria, this is just Nigeria reflecting that. This idea of we are fucked. Because going back to that thing about, what was it? Yeah, that guy trying to get the permit to open a business? That's got to be, it has to be corruption. I mean, the on Transparency International's 2022 sorry, on Transparency International's 2022 Corruption Perceptions Index, Nigeria scored a 24 on a scale of 0, highly corrupt, to 100, very clean. I don't believe that. If it's hard to open businesses and get a permit, there are obviously people in charge of handing out those permits. There has to be, Nigeria has, there we go. Nigeria is still suffering from widespread corruption despite government promises to crack down. Uche Igwe writes about how this is affecting Nigerians ahead of upcoming presidential elections. In January 2023, the global anti-corruption watchdog Transparency International released its annual Corruption Perception Index, which ranks, blah, blah, blah. The report reveals a clear connection between violence and corruption. Yeah, with 30% unemployment, there's got to be gangs. There's got to be crime. If there's crime, there are gangs, because there are groups of people who are committing the crimes, and then they become friends, and then they have underlings, and then they're like, I'll show you how to do this, and it just builds and builds and builds. So there's got to be like a Nigerian mob for sure. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but with like they are going through what America goes through, like America's leading the world in terms of making all the mistakes for everyone else to see. Because we have the most money, we have not the most people, but we have so much more, and we're so transparent. Like, you can see us. The whole world can see us. We broadcast it to everybody on our social media, in our movies, our opinions, our thoughts, and everybody gets to see it. And I think the same thing is happening in Nigeria as they continue to, make these movies. They're like, oh, this is happening. I mean, in the movies that I'm seeing, it's all relationship problems. Like, they're hitting each other. Like, spousal abuse, I guess, is common. That's not like a big thing in our, like, the biggest problem in our country. They're like, sorry, I'm rambling again. I think Korea is a good parallel, because if you look at Squid Game, in Squid Game, what is the essence of the conflict? It's debt. The main character's in a shitload of debt, and the promise, like the whole point of why he's willing to put his life on the line is to get out of debt. And it's a whole game orchestrated by this rich elite, and I want to not hate rich people, because there's a part of me that thinks like, well, I want to be rich, and at some point they must have felt the way I feel, but it's not true. Like, the truth of the matter is, a lot of these people have been rich their whole life. Their dads were rich. They've been in the 1%. So it's not like it's like they're only competing within the 1%. They're not competing with the 99%. The 99% is we're competing against each other. This being poor and becoming rich is our story. It's not theirs. They have a totally different story. Fighting and suing your sister for a house, for index funds, for portions of a company, and then taking that portion that you get and figuring out how to monopolize an industry. Like, it's a totally different experience from their perspective than ours. Versus for us, it's like, I want to not have credit card debt. I want to not, see my mom and dad cry about not being able to pay rent. And this is probably what this is becoming a common story in Nigeria, I would assume, as they develop more and more. I mean, they have to be breaking down these doors or following in our footsteps as we break down the doors for them, because it's definitely happening in Korea. I mean, so many Korean shows that I've watched. I watched Bloodhounds. I've watched so many. The two that actually stand out to me recently are Squid Games and Bloodhounds, and both of them are predicated on debt. Debt is like the worst thing in the fucking world. Fuck, man. So fuck, man. It's like as a country builds, the thing that can like a king is almost like a joke predator of the weak. You know, a king is just the rich guy who can afford to build up the castles and then you work for him. He preys on the weak. A king preys on the weak. And a more advanced version of that would be like a bank. A bank sucks up the funds. It keeps your money, it keeps your wealth safe. A corporation keeps your goods and services safe. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking my way through this. I'm rambling. I'm not reading off of anything. Let's get back to this article. Let's get back to this article. It's early in the morning. Good old 9:30 a.m. podcast. Despite the government spending billions of dollars, 8 trillion naira in 7 years to fight insecurity at both the national and subnational levels, security continues to worsen. With increasingly weak institutions and poor oversight, Nigerian security forces are not trusted by the population. What is that? What is Nigerian security forces? Do they mean cops? Nigerian security Nigeria, at least 115 people killed by special forces in 4 months in country southeast. Nigerian security forces have committed a catalog of human rights violations. Well, there you go. Okay. So this is the corruption they're talking about. So corrupt cops. There we go. Corrupt cops. Probably corrupt politicians. Probably corrupt business owners and people, landlords. This is not new. This is exactly what happened in the United States. When did I mean, it's still happening in the United States. What the fuck? Who am I to be like, and then we fixed it, and now everything's fine here in America? No, everything just got worse. Those people who preyed on the weak and the ignorant just got bigger and stronger, and they passed that on to their kids, who were probably weak cunts. And when you give a weak cunt power, they become evil cunts, because they try and do things that try, weak people try and quell their insecurities, and they do it in ways that don't, build themselves up. They quash the insecurity with money, with things, with other people's opinions, external gratification. Yeah. So yeah, Africa's just going through it right now. This contributed to the widespread protest seen in 2022 against police brutality known as End SARS, which almost brought the country to a halt. Cases of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism have become frequent across the whole country. The security agencies have not been able to adequately respond, leaving some parts of the country under the control of terrorists and bandits who collect tax from local farmers. There we go. This is exactly what I'm saying. There are even instances where the kidnapped victims spoke of collaboration between the state and security agencies and the kidnappers after their release. This is what I'm saying. Nigeria's poor performance was expected. To many analysts, the grim performance of Nigeria was unsurprising and points to the unsavory situation in the country. In 2022 alone, media reports estimate about 4,545 people were killed, while another 4,611 people were kidnapped by non-state actors. This is just non-state actors. Gunmen have attacked several government buildings and churches across the country, leaving many people dead. Terrorist bandits and criminal organizations across the country have been emboldened, while citizens live in constant fear and corrupt officials thrive with impunity. So far, the fight against insecurity has yielded limited results. The Government Defense Integrity Index published... What are these fucking indexes about? These are also people who can be bribed. So, I don't trust this. Like, who runs this? The Government Defense Integrity Index. Who runs .org? Like, who works here? Home about. Produced by the Transparency International Defense of Security. Okay. So, who runs this? Where we work, what we do, about us, work for us. Oh yeah, let's see. How can I work for you guys? Research Project Manager, Government Defense Integrity Index. It's closing July 19th. Okay, view vacancy. Full-time salary, 45,000 pounds. What is that in American? Okay, so it's not a great paying job, but it's pretty good. But who runs this place? Work for us, contact us, our team. Like, what are you? We are a global program of Transparency International focused on tackling corruption. Josie Stewart, head of advocacy. But what are you? Defense and Security Program Director, head of research. But, is this true? Board and governance. Okay, let's see. Committee members. Okay, who is this? Who is Michael Bowes? No. From Transparency International. Who is this guy? Michael Bowes QC? Yeah. Outer Temple Chambers. Joint head of chambers? But who is he? Like, who are these fucking people? QC. I don't think this is going anywhere. Because I'd really like to know, like, what this guy is. Like, what does he do? Where is he from? Highly regarded as an expert in civil and criminal crossover work. He is described as one of the go-to barristers in England for a corporate crisis. He has a very practical approach to solving problems and more in some of sorry, solving some of the more complicated problems. A great crossover practitioner from the criminal bar. So is he a lawyer? Financial Services Chambers Partners 2022 or 2020. Michael is a deputy high court judge. So he's a judge from the Queen's Bench Division. What is that? So he works for... Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Okay, so you're telling me that one of the chief board members of the Transparency International Defense and Security person is a judge in the UK government? Like, what the fuck, dude? That doesn't sound trustworthy to me. Like, I know... Hold on. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Corruption. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg is one of these people...
What if you could do...
Nah, back off. Okay. More revelations of corruption in the U.S. Supreme Court. There we go. Well, actually, this is the best way to find out if someone was corrupt, in my opinion. Ruth Bader Ginsburg net worth. Net worth $8 million. Okay. How? How was she worth how much do Supreme Court judges make? Okay, I can see that. How much would it take you to make $8 million if you make $250,000 a year times 4 years times 8 4 times 8 32 years. How long was she a Supreme Court judge? Was Ruth Bader Ginsburg a Supreme Court judge? 27 years. Okay. So, this is what I'm saying. Ruth Bader Ginsburg made 32 years worth of money in 27 years. And she died with a net worth of $8 million. How? So, what's 250 times 27? There's about $1 million plus that just kind of comes out of nowhere. So who knows? Who knows? The exposure, I'm not going to accuse RBG because she's a beloved liberal Supreme Court judge. But, like, dude, where is that extra $1 million coming from? You don't just stumble upon $1 million. And especially when you work for the government, you don't just find $1 million. The exposure of rampant corruption in the U.S. Supreme Court expanded over the last week. While the scandal has centered around Justice Clarence Thomas and his wife Virginia Ginny Thomas, the most brazen bribe takers. What? What do you mean the most So it's just known that these guys are bribe takers. It has increasingly implicated the entire court, including Chief Justice and the including the Chief Justice and the Democratic minority. Last month, the investigative journalist website ProPublica published a series of exposés documenting the fact that Clarence Thomas, a vicious opponent of the democratic and social rights of the working class, someone who's taking large bribes is fucking over the working class? That's interesting. Has accepted millions of dollars worth of unreported gifts from Harlan Crow, a billionaire Republican Party donor. So who is Harlan Crow? He's an American real estate developer. And he looks like a fucking Bond villain. Who sports a collection of Hitler and Nazi artifacts at his Texas mansion and calls Marxism his greatest fear. For more than 2 decades, Thomas and his wife have enjoyed all expenses paid lavish vacation on Crow's super yacht and his various private resorts, and none of which have been reported by Thomas on his official disclosures filings. Well, hold on. From someone who doesn't want to pay taxes, it is wise to, instead of just be like, yeah, come down to my resort, stay there, all off the books, you don't have to pay a thing. Bring them down, gift them the room, mark it on your balance sheet, and you can say, hey, government, take off X amount because I just gifted, what's his name? Thomas whatever. What's his name? Justice Clarence Thomas. I just gifted this guy $250,000 worth of, my resorts and my yacht and yada 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 services, which have been reported by Thomas. Yeah. Oh, none of which have been reported by Thomas on his financial disclosure filings. So, Mr. Crow, what's his name? Harlan Crow, fucking evil name. Harlan Crow could have marked, that's probably how they found it. He marked it on his tax balance sheet. Thomas did not. And so they're like, oh, why? This Harlan Crow could have paid for this shit. You could be like, hey, this guy's not reporting that thing I wrote off on my taxes. He should pay that to the IRS. He has been joined by fascistic think tank executives, corporate barons, and leaders of the right-wing Federalist Society, a conveyor belt for placing reactionaries on federal courts. Since his ascension to the High Court in 1991, Thomas has played a central role in a series of anti-democratic and pro-corporate rulings that have rolled back previously established rights, including the right to vote. Let me see. So this is not a picture of Clarence Thomas, actually. That's Clarence Thomas. Why did they show a white guy? Because this is John Roberts. This is Clarence Thomas. What is this? The Wall Street World Socialist website. Okay. I mean, that's fucking weird that they wouldn't show a picture of Clarence Thomas and instead showed a picture of John Roberts. This shit is so irritating, man. This is what this podcast does to me sometimes. I'm just like, God, we're fucked. We are so fucked. Because, like, what do I have to do to fight this? Do I have to become a journalist and just fight my way through a system that, fight my way through a media that is owned by the people I want to be reporting on? Do I have to become a lawyer and fight my way through bureaucracy and corruption and networks of what they described as fascistic conveyor belts to get on the Supreme Court, to be 1 in 8? Or how many people are on the Supreme Court? How many? I think it's 9? No, it changes. 9. It's 9. Because it can't be an even number. So yeah, do I need to become a Supreme Court judge to fix the world? Like, there is a real part of me that wants to fix things, that wants to help. But I think I can really only help myself. And just not be a cunt. But, and I'm sure this is how the people in the government feel. As someone, I work as an apartment manager. So, Like, I gotta tell you, people come into my office and they demand things and they say how things should be, and I just don't have, like, they're just dumb. Like, they just say dumb things. And I just kind of like, I'm like, no, I can't do that. One, I can't do that. Two, I'm not gonna do that. They're like, why can't I give you a 3-day notice and then vacate my apartment? It's like, because you signed a contract that said 60 days. For one. Two, 3 days. Like, the whole point of a 60-day notice is to allow time for that unit to be on the market. Not everyone is ready to move and in 3 days. They're more likely to move in 2 months. Some people do need to move into an apartment right away, but it's the minority. Dude. This is just... Our country is fucked. I'm fucked. Africa is fucked. The UK is fucked. We're all fucked. Anyway. Let's look at Nigerian women. Let's see. Let's end this with some good old misogyny. Wow. That's a look. Wow. These women are beautiful. Wow, look at these athletes. Look at these jacked women. Look at them. Good for you, Nigeria. This is like a normal looking woman. And look at her. Check it out. Like, good for you guys. Good for Nigeria. Why hold on. When we were watching the Bollywood movies, sorry, the Nollywood movies, why were they only fat women? Like, even her. Like, she's not built. A lot of fat women in Nigerian movies. Why isn't that promoted? Hey, look at these hefty Nigerians. Good for you, Nigeria. I'm gonna end the episode there. Bye.